Okay. Um, so we're a little delayed. I was planning to get cracking right at 4:30, but we're a little delayed. My camera, the nice one, the one we've been using for everything. This one, this one right over here, uh, just up and decided to not work. Don't know what was going on. It just wouldn't give me a signal. Wouldn't give me any signal. The PC and OBS could tell it was there. It was in the list. Fired up, black screen, nothing, nada, zippo. Um, I ended up having to delete all of its entries and completely reboot it from scratch. And we've got a weird cord now because I also have plugged it in directly because I thought maybe my extension was maybe cause I don't know. I'll have to deal with that on my own time. I wasn't expecting it to suddenly die just before I needed to use it. Also, every time I plug my microphone in, it doesn't want to switch to it as the main source, and I don't like that either. And that's new as well. OBS is having some kind of an issue, and I don't know what it is, and I don't like it. Yeah, sorry about the delay, but we're here. If you'll remember, on Monday, I showed you that I had a million bananas. And I've been eating bananas, but that was a lot of bananas. So we're using bananas today. I have some ideas. I have some. I actually closed it. I had a recipe for a specific thing. Quick and easy Jamaican banana fritter, which I'm gonna make, but also I'm going to I'm looking at this and I wonder if it's gonna be a sticky enough batter to use as a coating on things, which would be fascinating. So, to that end, I have thawed out some hot dogs, and they are in fact thawed. I've thawed out some hot dogs. I want to try rolling one in batter. Toka, you're rating. Hi, welcome. Toka, welcome, Raiders. Come on in. We just got started a few, well, technically 5 minutes ago, but real shortly ago. How's my sound? How's my video? I had a whole bunch of technical problems just before I went live, which is why I'm slightly delayed today. Hi, Toka. Nobody was here, so nobody to introduce to Toka. Friend of the channel, leader of our unofficial official group. Connoisseur of ramen. What were you doing today, Toka? I was just giving our intro spiel and talking about my technical difficulties. And the hot dogs. Welcome. So I'm cooking with bananas today, and I'm frying stuff today. We're definitely doing some deep frying. Once Human. I don't think I've ever played Once Human. I saw a lot of people play that briefly. It was this big, blew up for a little while, and I wasn't really paying much attention to it. So how was it? Just chill. How am I? Well, I was doing great up until surprise, surprise, turn everything on and the camera, this camera, the nice camera, just decides no, not gonna work. Had to completely reset this thing, re-add it as a source, change reset all my settings, and I can't figure out how to make it not quite so blown out. If I put a white plate here, it just disappears because I can't figure out how to adjust the brightness, which I had adjusted before. Now it won't let me. Well, it'll let me, except it introduces the scan lines because for some reason forgets that it's able to filter those out when I manually adjust the whatever. And the stove is all dark. Why is the stove so dark? Why are you so dark? Stove. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. So, and it happened just before I went live. Of course, it couldn't have happened earlier. Everything was fine. Just a second before. Everything. Well, nope. So whatever. Let me go get the bananas. Ugh. Big tray of bananas. Oh, and it's going to autofocus, isn't it? I had turned the autofocus off because I hated it. Now I got to figure out. Whatever. We're going to deal with camera problems. So I've still got most of the tray here. It has attracted a few fruit flies because the bananas have obviously gone a tad spotty. We're going to use at least 3 of them. And I might just... I don't know, we're gonna play. We're gonna play around. These are gonna stay handy but off to the side. So the idea here is, if you remember the, oh my God, autofocus. What are you doing? Oh my, this is why I disabled the autofocus, because it doesn't know what it's doing. Oh, don't autofocus. See my hand. Good enough. Okay. Good enough. Jesus. Anyways, what I was saying. The concept I'm working from is, if you remember, I made tres leches cake with bananas instead of eggs. And it worked great. It was actually gave it a nice sort of light banana flavor that sort of shot through it, in addition to the rich thing. I'm not making a tres leches. That's a lot of work, and also it was so much cake. I got through it all, but boy, it was a... I had to give it away to people, all sorts of stuff. But the concept that banana acts as a binder should still hold in other applications, right? Because that's what the egg is doing. It's creating a structural element so that the cake can foam up when you bake it. Now, I don't think it'll bind. Like, I don't think you could make a meringue out of it. The properties are definitely different. But I feel like this should work. And there are recipes that corroborate this, because this is essentially fried pancakes. It calls them fritters, but they look more like little pancakes, or maybe hush puppies, if you're familiar with what that is. It's a fried dough thing, except this is going from a pretty liquid-looking batter. I'm using a recipe from My Forking Life. We've used them before. And it's sweetened, but not heavily, and it says you can adjust the sweetness if your bananas are particularly ripe. My bananas are, so I might not even add any sugar at all and just trust it. I also want to see what the batter looks like, because if it looks the way I picture it, I think we can get it to stick to things and use it as a batter for, like, batter frying stuff. And it's a bunch of seasonings, and the most basic elements are just 3 ripe bananas and a cup of flour. So that's where we're going to start. And then I want to try making some sauces. One of them is going to be very easy, like a lime sour cream. But you'll also remember, we used this briefly, and it's kind of hanging around. It's got a good shelf life, so it's not like I'm worried about it. But I've got mango juice. And I was thinking, ooh, mango. Mango and chili makes an excellent sort of flavor combo. What if I made a mango chili syrup for these, what are essentially going to be like little fried pancakes? That sounds good. So we're in the realm of sweets today for sure, but not super sweets. So yeah, that's kind of where we're looking today. I'm going to need a vessel for frying. Now the main event are going to want to be little, they don't want to be super deep fried. But I think that a banana hot dog would actually want to be like on a stick, deep fried like you do a corn dog. I think flat frying it might cause the sides to get weird. I don't have, or actually, do I have sticks? Actually, do I have sticks? They would be here. They would be here. I have medium bamboo skewers. 2 skewers side by side might work. Well, the hot dog is definitely the more experimental element today. I increasingly need to find things to do with, we're going to get the flour tower, the tower of flour. Get the flour tower out. We're definitely going to need that. I increasingly find myself needing to find things to do with bananas, especially overripe bananas, because I keep finding them in the dollar bins, huge quantities. Huge quantities. Cindy, hi, welcome. Bring them in the ramen. You're not late, you're exactly on time. A wizard something something. Welcome. We are just about to get moving. And here's how you peel a banana. Oh, God, I need to work on my... We're not doing any more camera fiddling right now because, oh my God. But everything's going to be bright and blown out. So this is how you peel a banana. The trick, and I did it wrong for ages because my parents told me the wrong way. You don't start from the end with the stem, you start from over here. This end, you just pinch it. And oop, this guy's really spotty. Ooh, that guy's really spotty. Like I said, overripe bananas. How do you look on the inside? You'll be fine. Doing something on the fritters. I was discussing that. I have 2 ideas for sauces. I want to try a lime sour cream. Wow, that's blown out. Do I have to get the color correction panel out again? I haven't had to use that since I got the new camera. No, that just doesn't want to. Wow, that's blown out. What the heck? I need lime sour cream and mango chili syrup were the 2 ideas I had. We could play around. We have plenty of ingredients to play around with. Why is this so blown out? Like anything that's not white is fine, but anything that's white just disappears. Camera troubles. The spotty bananas will be fine since we're going to just mash these up anyways. Those brown spots have an off-putting texture if you're just trying to eat it like a banana, but they don't even show up in something like this where you're going to mash it out. God, that is bugging me. Let me, I said I wasn't going to do any more. If I hit this button right here, that didn't do anything. Okay. If I hit this button right here, aha, that's not helpful. That one there wasn't. That one right there wasn't helpful. Nope, not that one. Damn. We're going to have to mess with this. Off. God. Why did the camera die? It was going so well, and now I can't even access some of the settings I used to. And it seems to have forgotten that it's capable of filtering out those scan lines. Those come from my my LED overhead lights, because they're really cheap LED overhead lights. Let's do these one at a time. Or, yeah. So, for starters, we're mashing our bananas in the old ricer. We've used this before, and it gives us a very smooth banana. Much more so than I've been able to get by mashing with any other tools. Which should give us a very smooth batter as well. Which I'm hoping will mean that we can get it to really wrap around things. I got this ricer with the intent of, you know what the solution would be to this light thing? Would be to put a surface on here that's not white. And then I wouldn't have to fight with it trying to blow out the white all the time. I bought this ricer with the intent of doing things like potatoes, and I've used it on bananas more than anything else. It just, I guess it turns out I really like mashed bananas. Okay. We're going to set this aside, but not get it soapy, because I'm going to probably want to mash more bananas. Oh, boy, I wasn't expecting technical difficulties today. And there's a cord now. You can't see it because it's behind there. This is a cord now that's dangling over my workspace. And I covered it up with a little with the side panel. Okay. So there's 3 medium bananas, extra ripe, and to that we add 1 cup of flour, and I'm not going to care about sifting because the flour is pre-sifted. I'm also going to leave that scooper in the flour tower because we're probably going to need that again as well. And then the original recipe here has a pinch of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of vanilla. They're clearly going for flavors here. I like the sound of nutmeg, but I kind of want to know what these are going to taste like straight up. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get nutmeg into any other cinnamon as well. The bananas themselves should be sweet enough to really give us a good, strong sweetness. I don't think I will need 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I wonder if the brown matters. We're going to find out by just putting a little bit of molasses in there. I need more sugar. Ooh, actually, I think I might be
legit low on sugar. I use it so infrequently that I don't realize when it's running low. And I have this. This still has sugar.
There's a little bit in the bottom of the tube here. Wow, that... Every time I come and look at this, I'm used to this not being quite so blown out, and it's off-putting. Anyways, I don't have brown sugar because I don't use brown sugar. Instead, when I need brown sugar, I take some molasses and some white sugar, and I combine them. I'm going to do 2 scoops here of plain white sugar because, again, I think the bananas are going to be sweet enough to do most of the work. We will throw in some nutmeg. Always fresh grated nutmeg. For 2 reasons. 1, it tastes a heck of a lot better, and 2, these whole nuts keep forever. You can get one of these. They're not cheap to buy up front, but one of these full of these little nuts. I mean, when did I even get this? It claims that it expired 4 years ago, and I'm pretty sure I had it for at least 4 years before that, and they're still basically full potency. The expiration on that is just nonsense. It's not true. You know what we could do with these is pumpkin spice. I've already put nutmeg, so I've already broken that, but not spice. This would be a good time for pumpkin spice mix, right? Don't. Wikipedia, stop being dumb about this. Oh no, they put nutmeg in it. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, and allspice. Cinnamon. We've already got cinnamon. We've already got nutmeg. So, sure, let's just go for it. And we can use powders for all of these. Ginger. Do I have powdered? I know I have powdered cinnamon, and I know I have whole allspice. Do I have powders? I have ground clove. I have ground allspice. Okay. We don't need to grind our own allspice, which is good. Cinnamon. I'm not measuring any of these. I'm just eyeballing it. Go light on cloves whenever you add cloves to anything, although ground cloves are less intense. And that's how you make pumpkin spice. And I like pumpkin spice, and I typically don't like it in sweets. So I guess we're finding out if it works in these things. Ground cloves, cinnamon, whole celery salt, nutmeg, ginger. Okay. Boy, wow. I know it's overexposed, and I can't fix it. And it gets worse. Like, anything that's not white is fine. Turn that light off. Turn this light on? No. My camera died and I had to reset everything. I can physically turn a light off, and it's kind of dark in here. I hate it because here, let me show you. I'll turn that back on. I'll turn that light back on. We're all overexposed.
And when I try to adjust the brightness, it does this, which is obviously much worse. So I turn that back off, and then it goes back to being overexposed and terrible. Turn this light off. Now I know it was overexposed. It wouldn't let me adjust the exposure without losing. I don't know what the hell happened with the camera. It just absolutely lost its mind. And I haven't had time to really like fix it. I had to reset everything. Anyways, we're combining this. No, I've already been through the goddamn fight with this camera. I don't know what happened. It absolutely lost its mind. And for a while, I couldn't even get it to recognize that the camera was there. Like something went completely wrong with it. No, okay. You've known me long enough that telling me to calm down is not the way to make me calm down. So please, don't do that. I will calm down naturally if you just let me vent. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much for the sub. It is no longer September, but subs are still appreciated. Anyways, we're combining these things, and it should form, hopefully, a soft batter. I don't want to overwork it, but I want to get all the flour incorporated. Anyways, no, I'm aware that I'm having camera problems, and I need to sit down and fix them, but that would take a lot of troubleshooting. I already lost a good 20 minutes off the front end of the stream just because I was resetting settings and stuff. And of course, I'm working with a lot of light-colored things today. I tried putting the old, remember the old color correcting sheet? Well, this camera does not respect that. And it just stays blown out. That batter is very much how I hoped it would be. Is very much how I hoped we would end up with. It is very sticky. Sticky in a way that I think will allow it to stick to stuff. Let me get out. What size am I using? Should have been heating up some oil to start with, because we're frying these. Oh. Well, I mean, they're literally just there as a diagonal, with the taller ones on this end and the shorter ones on that end. If I straighten them out, I suppose it does with the lines over here. Kind of looks like it's sloping away, but that's just an illusion. I want the big pan. Oh, I don't want the small pan. I want the big pan today. Big pan. Okay, slide on over here with me. And we're doing a real fry. We're doing a real fry today. A little bit of debris in my fry oil. And we need our fry thermometer. But hi, welcome. To this nonsense. Okay, we don't want it actually touching the bottom, but we want it close. You guys are not realistically going to be able to see that either way, so I'm just going to put that on my side. We'll get our oil going. And there was a little bit in there. Yeah, I find myself increasingly with bananas that just need to be used. And I'm trying to find new ways to use them. Okay, looks good. There must have been some bits from the last time I fried something still in there. And we need to get out a sheet. Line said sheet with a couple layers of paper towels for the drips. And a grate also for the drips. Am I gonna want the spider, or we probably want the spider. I'm worried these might end up laying flat on the bottom. I don't know how well this batter is going to float. Should have started that oil when I was making up the batter though, because now we have to wait for the oil to heat up. I suppose I can get started on the potential mango syrup stuff. We have an available burner on the back there. And I would probably want a small dish, but non-stick, just in case it gets sticky. Mango syrup. Purely because I happen to have mango juice, which I should shake up. I think if I thicken it, here it is. Oh, it's leaky. Probably why it was in the discount bin, because the cap is leaking on me. So now there's mango juice on me. Well, all the more reason to use it up fast, I guess. Oh, so how's everyone doing? Sorry, I did have a little bit of a rant at the start. How's everyone doing this fine Friday? The weather has certainly finally cooled off around here. And I have been greatly enjoying that. Okay, we're going to put 2 cups of mango in here and start simmering it. And then we will work our way down to turning it into something a little bit more syrupy and less juicy. Probably with the addition of some sugar. It's quite sweet and not very acidic to begin with, unlike fresh mango, because this is designed for drinking. Water, mango puree, sugar, acid, sucralose. That's going to be interesting. There's actually sucralose in it. That's unexpected. I guess we'll soldier forth. And that stuff I wanted to add, not too much, but a little bit of chipotle powder, which if we get infused in there, we make like a chili mango syrup. A smoky chili mango syrup, which I think sounds like a great pairing with the other sort of nonsense I have going on today. Not that it's nonsense. It's kind of like super normal stuff today. I've definitely done weirder. Our oil is starting to come up. So yeah. What'd y'all have for... It's so dark in here with that light off. Not for you guys, but for me. It's so dark in here with that light off. What have you guys all gotten up to today? Anything tasty? Anything on tap for the weekend? We're coming into a weekend. I think if I've got anything on tap for the weekend. Not this Monday, but the following Monday is Canadian Thanksgiving Day. And I need to plan something out for that. Because it's on a Monday, and I'll be here anyways. And boy, won't Jay be surprised. But, yeah. So that's exciting. I think the Canadians have pretty much the same things that we have for Thanksgiving. Because it's the same continent and it's the same thing. It's just that theirs happens earlier. And I don't really want to do a whole roast turkey. But we could try turkey. I could try to make good turkey. We could do pressure turkey. We could do like practice some pressure turkey. That might be fun.
Because I bet you if you pressure cooked some turkey, it'd have to be small, probably just a part. But you could get it cooked through without drying it out. That might be a doable thing. I should do some reading on that. Uh, but otherwise, yeah. Our friend WeFormer came through with some new emotes, but I have not gotten actual permission to put them live yet. So, yeah. I've also still got jackfruit. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Some of it's starting to get a little bit brown in there already. You probably have to just do something where I use lots of it very quickly. That's probably going to be the issue. The nuts are very tasty. The nuts worked out great. I need to take the time and roast the remainder of those nuts. And then probably roast off the boiled ones just to hopefully loosen up those skins without burning them. When I was going through those ones I roast last time that I lost track of time on, some of them were definitely a little burned on the inside. So there is a tipping point. You can't just go nuts on them. So we'll have to be careful. Let's see, a scooping spoon. Our oil is up to hard ball. Not that we're making candy. But we're looking at about 260 and rising rapidly. Our mango has started to simmer. And I'm hoping that has enough sugar in it to sort of become a syrupy consistency without me having to do much to it. But we'll find out. We're going to have a bit of an odd schedule, or an odd cadence today, because I'm going to taste. We're going to fry some up, we're going to taste them. And then we're going to make another batch. Because I want to test it out with the hot dog. Okay, now our mango is gently boiling. We're at 275. We just hit 275. Oh, and thanks to the people who followed me earlier today, I got a shout. Shout outs so seldom actually result in follows, but hey, there you go. I guess it does actually work sometimes. Let's bring that down a little bit. I don't want to boil that vigorously. I want to boil it gently. How am I? I'm also going to learn how easy this stuff is to handle. If we look over here, it's sort of sagged back out from the ball. I scooped it into a ball, so it's thick enough to sort of hold its shape briefly, but then it sags back out. So it's much thicker than a pancake. It is a lot more like a fritter or a hush puppy or a
I'm hoping cornbread batter, corn dog batter. Temperature's rising pretty consistently, 300. Once we get over 350, I'm just going to start putting globs of batter in there. We haven't done any deep frying in a long time. I'm actually going to preemptively, while the stuff is still not quite heated up, preemptively open a window. One of the issues with deep frying is you have to air things out. So let's open that window preemptively. I'm also planning on sharing some of these, so I'm not worried about making a ton, so we can do a few batches and see how they work and make adjustments. We should just grab another bunch of bananas. Just grab another bunch of bananas and have it handy ready. Ooh, the mango stuff is starting to smell pretty good. Our oil is approaching caramel temperatures. I haven't gotten any new anything new since last time. There's no new gadgets. There's no new food. I got a really bad sponge. I couldn't find my favorite kind of dish sponge, and I bought a different one, and it was terrible. I hated it. Which is very unfortunate. So yeah. What's for dinner? What's for dinner with you? How's the weather? How's life? Did you see a movie? Dinner with Mom. Hi. Oh, dinner with Mom. Welcome, welcome. We've rated you a couple times. I know you're a streamer. How's it going? We're currently waiting for this oil. This is oil. We're waiting for the oil to heat up so I can start frying. We're simmering down some mango juice. I've got some chipotle pepper in it. We're making a chipotle mango syrup from mango juice. We're frying some banana fritters. And I'm doing an experiment with them. We're going to see how they behave, plain following the recipe. Approximately following the recipe. They're currently pumpkin spiced as opposed to the generic just nutmeg and cinnamon. I added the other parts of the pumpkin spice to them. And then I've got some hot dogs, and I'm going to try taking our fritter batter and using it to wrap around a hot dog and see if I can't make a banana corn dog. But I want to fry some of the batter up by itself first. And then a lime sour cream dip also seems like it'll be tasty, but it's very simple. And our temperature has just hit 350, and that was what I'm waiting for. So now you're just in time for the exciting part. And you're supposed to just grab a spoon. Let's bring this all the way over here. We're supposed to just grab a spoon and plunk them in. I'm going to fry just one. We're going to fry just one and see what it does before I commit. It's cooled off. I can throw the windows open, so it's a good time for frying. That is, in fact, the first one. And I'm calling them fritters. This stuff is a lot more like a pancake batter. Oop, and it did. It hit the bottom and stuck.
And this is a very basic thing. It's bananas, flour, and spices. But that's the thing right there. It has poofed up. It's browned very quickly. Oh, our heat is too high. That's why it's browning very quickly. We've overshot our temperature and I need to dial it back. I don't think I'm going to need the spider if they all hold together like this. There is no leavening, no. We're getting a little bit over temp, and the best way to drop our temp is just to put stuff in there, so. I'm going to put a few more in. We'll retrieve that one. I think I overdid that one. No, it's super basic, and the principle we're working on is a little while back I made a tres leches cake, and in the cake part of it, I did not use any eggs. Instead, I used bananas because I had heard that you could use mashed banana in place of egg, and I found a recipe that used it in that way. And wanted to give it a go because I keep finding cheap bananas. Constantly. I still have tons of bananas. So I keep finding cheap bananas. So I keep looking for things to do with bananas. And that one worked out great. You could really taste the banana in it too. It wasn't just like it didn't disappear into the cake. It was distinctly banana. Okay, I think I definitely overcooked that first one. I think I might even want smaller blobs. They look almost too big. Well, this is the first batch of just a pure experimentation. We're gonna find out what they do. We're going to find out how this stuff behaves a bit. It sure is brown. It's kind of soft. Let's try some smaller ones and see if they how they behave. Don't get your silicone spatula in the fry oil. Kids who are following along at home. Children who are following along at home, deep frying without supervision, please don't do that. So yeah, instead of just completely going forth blind, though, I am using a recipe from My Forking Life for Jamaican banana fritters, and the recipe is treating them more like pancakes. And it's frying them in quite a lot of oil, but not enough to float them, so they're coming out flat, whereas mine are float because the oil is very deep. And I'm doing deep oil because I want to try the hot dog. And I'm worried that if I try to do that one on a flat, like a pancake, it'll just squish out.
although this oil is not quite deep enough and they are hitting the bottom. That's more of the color I was thinking. This first couple went a little bit extra dark. So although there's no leavening in these, there was leavening in the cake. And the banana gave us enough structure to get that airy cakeness without having to add any eggs or any proteins, any additional proteins at all. Okay. I guess I'll keep going. They smell good. They smell like bananas. Our oil temperature has also dropped from having added all of those. So I'm going to let that come up before I do anything more, because we don't want to fry in oil that's too low, otherwise these things will soak up a lot of extra oil. We're currently down to 325, so let's bring our temperature back up. Frying is a matter of carefully managing your oil temp if you don't have a device to do that for you. This would be a lot easier in an actual deep fryer. How's that first? Ooh, they're like pillowy. Interesting. I very much want to try one. That first one is cool enough to touch, so I am going to go for it while our temperature recovers over here. I apologize again for our lighting problem. See, now I feel like I want the light on. Okay, we're going to find out what this looks like on the inside and give it a little taster. Well, it got like foamy, airy on the inside. It's not soft, it's set right through to the middle. It's dense, it's spongy, it's just lightly sweet. It's not massively oily, just a little bit. It's almost like a donut texture, but like dense, and it's squishy. It's like it's bouncy, but it's not like it's rubbery. It breaks apart very easily when you bite into it. It's quite nice. For how simple it is, it's quite nice. It's very pillowy. That was the very first one I did right there. I think if you use it as a batter on something, you want to get a very thin layer though, because it looks like it sort of self-insulates quite well. Let me stir our mango stuff a little bit. I think we might need some added sugar. That guy's thickening up though, so we've got to keep an eye on him. Okay. Our oil is coming back up to temp. Before I put any more in, we are going to come back and try one more. One of the small ones, which are still a little hot. They were in there for less time, and they also were less big. Similar pillowiness. quite a bit hotter. It's got a very similar, I don't think it matters. Probably make them smaller just because they cook a little bit faster and they're like 1 to 2 bites. Okay. The size didn't seem to affect it much except for total cook time. They went a little bit faster when they were smaller, which logically makes sense. Okay, our oil is up into active temp again, so I will use the remaining batter here. It's interesting. It's not really what I was expecting. It's definitely a lot denser than like a pancake. It's not like fluffy. It's like you know those Squishmallow pillows? That's what it's like. It's got this. It's got a squish to it, but then it bounces back. Except you can eat it. Okay, that one's going to be extra small. We shot our temperature up pretty hard again. The smaller ones look like they also have less danger of sticking to the bottom, and that's probably the biggest benefit of doing them slightly smaller. They naturally want to release and float because they have less area to contact the bottom. Some of them come out a little bit of irregular too. Okay, let's bring our temperature down. And I guess we start some more bananas. Just light off again because we're not doing in the... Oh, I hate that I have to do with the lighting at the top. I don't know that I'm tasting the pumpkin spice in there at all. We could really go in ham with the spices if we wanted to, but I think it is better served turning this into, or serving this with a sauce than trying to flavor them directly, because I think you're just going to end up fighting with the sheer volume of stuff you're working with in the goops here. You'd have to just go crazy with the spices. Okay. That worked good. Let me grab another spatula and let's see how our mango stuff is doing. Ooh, we're turning that off and taking it away from the heat. That has thickened quite a lot. Come over here with it so you guys can see it, because it won't hurt the wooden board. That has thickened quite a lot, and I'm going to let it cool off a little bit, and we're going to taste it. It really got kind of grainy. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Didn't use the spider, and I don't think we're going to need to use the spider. These things were quite easy to pick up without it. So I will just put the spider away. Make sure we're not scorching our oil while I'm not paying attention to it. Have that turned down to the point where it'll just keep for us. Okay. Yeah. Back to the bananas. We're going to make another batch of the stuff. We are taking the strings off the bananas because the strings I don't think will mash very well. So far, and I think if I made the batter thinner, I could just fry it, like put a little bit of milk in it or something, just to loosen it up a little bit. You could fry this flat like pancakes very easily. It's just, they wouldn't be fluffy like pancakes. Because the banana is just, I think the banana is just making it kind of dense. But by the way it's behaving, I think it would be very easy to fry flat and then just flip it when it gets brown on the one side. We need our masher back. This ricer, I have to say, has been an absolute boon for all of my stupid banana projects. I have no other way to mash a banana as smoothly as this thing can mash a banana. And even the part that sort of squishes out the top is mashed when it squishes out the top. So you just sort of scrape it off and it's good. Scrape off the bottom. 3 mashed banana. Pretty much perfectly smooth. Gotta be careful not to get anything in my mango syrup. I should get a trivet and put that somewhere where I'm not going to spill it. I put it on the sink, but I keep going over to the sink, so we're just going to slap that on a trivet and let it cool off in peace. Watch our oil. Our oil's holding. Our oil is holding. Okay. Ray. Hi. Welcome. What's going on? Never used a potato ricer to mash bananas. I had never done that either, but I had a recipe. I forget what it was. It was the very first time we did mashed bananas. And I tried mashing it with a masher, like a masher. And it was okay, but they came out kind of lumpy. And then I was thinking, well, I've got this ricer. Let's give it a try. And boy, it did miracles. They came out so smooth, no lumps. Oh, I forgot. Pinch of salt. We're just going to eyeball a few of these things. Pinch of salt, 2 large pinches of sugar. But hi, welcome in. How's it going? We're making the second round of these. The first round came out well. I have a general idea of where I think how it behaves. So we're going to do the experimental half and see if this stuff can batter a hot dog. And this is my pumpkin spice mix going in. Again, it didn't really come through very strongly. I think it'll be even less, but I think that the pumpkin spice combo works really well with meats in general. So the fact that we're now doing it with a hot dog makes me think I should do it. I also put a little bit of salt in this one. The original recipe calls for salt, and I did not put it in that first one, and I think I should have. I think that might be part of the reason the flavors are kind of muted. We don't need that. And again, everyone who's just gotten here, I do apologize for the lighting today. My camera had an absolute aneurysm. I don't know what, and I have not had time to fully reset everything. So we had to adjust the lighting so that my worktop wasn't completely blown out today, because it was super blown out at the start. I might even actually just add a little bit of liquid to this one. Bananas, of course, are not all exactly the same size, so the amount of flour you will need varies a bit for sure. And this one seems a little stiffer than the first one. Although the first one also had more time to rest, and I think resting will help because it'll hydrate the flour, sort of relax this thing into more of a sticky batter, less of a very wet dough. But I think just a splash of liquid in this one, just a hint, just a little bit. We don't need much. And I'm tempted for it to just be water today. And this is why I don't want to have to do the cord like this. We also have a cord now that sort of cuts diagonally across the world. Ugh. Remind me. Okay, we're just going to put a little splash of water in there to loosen it up a little bit. Checking on my oil to make sure I'm not burning it. When there's nothing in it, the oil should maintain its temperature quite well if you've got it set to a point where it is balanced. But I don't trust myself to have done that accurately. Okay. These are old-fashioned, bog-standard Oscar Mayer wiener. TKL in the house. Hello, welcome. We are fighting with a package of hot dogs. There we go. So I'm going to make up a very basic. Do you fit? You do. Okay. I want to roll this in a little bit of flour to help the batter stick to the surface. And I don't just want to do it loose. So we're going to flour this. Okay. 1 hot dog, floured. How's it going, TK? You're here in time for whatever this is. Will this work? Is this stuff too sticky? Ooh, it might be. It might just be too sticky for this. It's not like a horrible batter. Ooh, okay. Okay. This is not working well. This is not working well. I immediately regret everything I've ever done in my entire life. Wow, is this not working? It's a mess. It's a mess. Okay, well, both hands are sticky. I cannot change the camera angles unless I use my elbow. Elbow powers, go. Aha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Okay, we're not doing another one of those unless I can figure this out a little bit better. Wow, is this batter the wrong batter for that? Okay, well, we learned a thing. Banana wrap. Well, based on my experience just a second ago, why did the temperature go up when I put that in there? Interesting. Based on my experience just a second ago with dealing with that mess, I feel as though this batter is not the right consistency for wrapping around things, just in general. I think it needs to be thinner. It needs to be... Ooh, we could do it. We'd have to incorporate more liquid. We'd have to be on full experimental mode and be incorporating more liquid into this to get it to go that direction. And I have enough here I could try that. I have enough here I could try that. What I was picturing was, because I've done it before with batter fried fish, and the batter is thick, and when you dip the fish in, it sticks, and you can pull it out and it sort of shake off the excess, and it's much more runny, almost, it's much more like a pancake batter consistency. This stuff is so sticky, so thick and sticky, that it does not want to work unless I futz with it. Which again, we could do that. We could futz with this. Do we want to futz with this? Do I want to futz with this? I've never tried making Korean corn dogs, no. I understand that they have a very sticky rice-based batter as well. Deliberately sticky so that they can stick stuff to it. So, don't burn that. Ugh. I have never had a fire. I've never had a fire here on the old
kitchen. I've cut myself a few times. What do we think? Ooh, it's making a loud plink, plink, plink sound, which I think means that it has cooked through to the hot dog. So let's pull it out. Very toasty. Very toasty, very demure. Ray Ray, Patsy. That thing is one standard Oscar Mayer hot dog wrapped in completely ordinary this stuff, which is bananas, flour, and pumpkin spice, which is what these blobs are over here. They're just flour and bananas and some flavor that I've fried in the oil here. And they come out quite interesting, sort of squishy and pillowy. And the attempt, isosceles, you are first at an hour 24. No one was here before you today, and that proves it. You are the first one. Congratulations. Patsy, you're not first. You didn't get here. You're not first. The question is, do we take our batter and try to thin it out so that I can do another hot dog that isn't quite so sticky? The stuff is so sticky. And yes, these are banana fritters. They're very interesting. They're these sort of squishy, pillowy things. So, do I attempt? Is this what normal banana fritters? I think so. Mine are much more blobby than the ones in the picture. The ones in the picture are very flat because they fry them in much less oil and they flatten out, and then they actually flip them. Because I wanted to try the hot dog, I made my oil deep enough that I could get a hot dog in there, which also means that the regular ones came out as little goobers. And we're having lighting problems today, and I'm sorry about that. It is something that I don't know how to fix live, and I'm gonna have to deal. But this is one of the first ones, and if I pop it open, it's dense. They're very dense on the inside, but they're like pillowy, squishy. They're chewy on the outside. The little feelers and stuff are crispy. It tastes like bananas. I've never had these before either. I'm doing this because I have so many bananas. Here are 4 more bananas. We've already used 6 bananas. Here are 4 more bananas. And if I look over on my tray, here are 14 more bananas. So we currently have 18 bananas to work with because I found so many bananas. So we are absolutely in the realm of... These remind me of banana bread. They've got that sort of dense sweetness to them. And since I have so much of them, I am going to attempt to make this into more of a battery batter.
There, that's more like a pancake batter consistency. So let's try this again. This time I'm not going to put flour on it. I think the flour was counterproductive. They are definitely sweet. The regular plain ones aren't savory. They're just kind of sweet. The hot dog obviously is savory. I'm just going to dry the surface of this one. Let's just, you know, put a hot dog in some goo. Put a hot dog in some goop. Come on over here. Grab our goop dog. Shake off our goop and goop it. There you go. You never had a corn dog? This is like corn dog, but with bananas instead of corn. Ooh, something's happening. Ooh, something's happening. Let's get that guy flipped real fast. Ray, hi. Hi again. Oh, hi dinner with mom. I don't know if corn dogs are a thing in Europe. They're a big thing in like it's like fair food because it comes on a stick, and they're deep fried and the batter it's like a sweet corn batter wrapped around a hot dog, which means there's no like hot dog to hold. It's real convenient. You just kind of eat it off the stick. That's the concept. These don't have sticks. I'm not doing sticks. I was not going to get my oil deep enough. The way you're supposed to fry them is vertically. They go in vertically, held by the stick, so that they're perfectly smooth. Which means you need really deep oil. And we were not going to be getting really deep oil today. But yeah, we're kind of playing. We're kind of in the play phase today. The basic version of these worked, which is these guys, all these guys back here. The basic version worked. I think they're slightly better when you make them smaller, because I really like the sort of craggly, fingery bits, because they get crispy, whereas the middle part is more chewy. Cooking sim. I mean, you could make them in real life. You don't have to go on a sim. There's nothing stopping you except yourself. Which, I mean, fair if you're stopping yourself from making them in real life. They seem like they're probably a bad idea. Okay. Getting my batter. We're going to see how this batter fries up loose. We're going to get that guy out of there. That guy comes out. He's about the same size, but he's smoother. Smoother. Heat up a little bit on our thing. I said I didn't want to do full-size ones, right? The smaller ones, slightly smaller ones are better. Deep frying is definitely not a thing to start with if you're not comfortable cooking. Deep frying is I don't do deep frying very often because it is a hassle and it is also a lot of cleanup and and ugh. Will I dust them with powdered sugar? No, I am intending to serve them with dips instead. Our plan here is the mango syrup, which is looking pretty syrupy and is cooled off enough to touch. Yes. Mango syrup. I'm going to have to taste that, adjust flavors there. And I was thinking a lime sour cream might be good, although tasting these, I'm not sure now. Ooh, these ones with this looser batter are much different. They're much floatier. These are much floatier, and I think they're going to end up more puffy, airy on the inside, just because the water is going to boil and make little holes. So now I'm intrigued that we should have thinned them out to begin with. Boy, our glamour shots, our pictures aren't going to look like much today because everything is just going to be this sort of deep fried brown color. You've done it before, you're not a fan of it. So much oil. Set the pan on fire. I mean, it takes practice. Practice is what gets you away from those mistakes. And a deep frying is definitely on the more advanced end of cooking because it does deal with a great deal of very hot oil. That one does not want to flip. That one's going to be weird. There we go. For which I have long chopsticks. I've got a bunch of tools to make this work. Those are looking pretty done though, so I'm going to actually start pulling them. Fascinating how different. They're much more rounded, more like little balls. They've still got a few craggly bits. Do I want to do the lime sour cream? Ultimately. I was thinking lime sour cream, especially for the hot dogs, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I need to taste this mango syrup. Ooh. Oh, that's really good. I mean, it just tastes like mangoes. Oh, and it's got a little bit of a bite to it at the back. Okay, Ray. I don't think we're going to be doing anything wildly different from here on out. Just tasting, tasting and tweaking. But thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Glad to see you. Thanks for the follow. I missed that. I never look at that thing. We tanked our temperature a little bit. Cooking mistake. He took the guinea pig out on the sofa, watched some TV while you waited for the butter to melt, and then it burned. The pan was on fire. Okay, well, walking away is a mistake. That is a mistake. I've made that mistake here. Okay, Mom. Oh, Ray Ray's dad. Oh, well. Then hi to both of you. Thanks for showing up, Mom. Thanks for hanging out. Glad to see you. Like I said, I don't think I don't have another, like, crazy thing I'm about to pull out and be like, we're doing this now. I want to test these hot dogs. I want to... We tanked our oil temp, so I got to get that up before I put anything else in there. I'm gonna do the lime sour cream. I still think that's a good idea. Normally, you put condiments on corn dogs. Yes, you put ketchup and mustard. Some people will say only mustard. I say ketchup and mustard. For which we do in fact have, come over here. There's this was a fresh sour cream and it looks separated. Ketchup and mustard is the standard. This was brand new, and I even just pulled the plastic off the top, and it's like weirdly separatey. I need a little dish to stir. As for ketchup, I have this. Which is banana ketchup that I made earlier on another stream. And that's probably appropriate. Once again, using up the vast quantities of bananas I keep finding. They just won't go away. I don't know what to do about the bananas. I can't get rid of them. Sour cream is an acquired taste? I mean, I suppose. If you mean by adults eat it. I of course, am joking. Banana ketchup, how does that work? Well, you make ketchup like normal, but instead of tomatoes, you put in bananas. And then instead of tomato ketchup, you have banana ketchup. Let's get out our tiny whisk. Because it turns out banana ketchup is just one kind of ketchup, and there have been a bunch of other kinds of ketchup throughout history. Tomato ketchup is a pretty recent one, in fact. I just added some lemon juice from the bottle to make this a little bit more sour, but also to thin it out. It was just a tad too thick. we'll let that sit and infuse a little bit. But this is, God, I hate this light being off, but when I turn it on, everything just disappears. Sorry, I'm still frustrated by that. Now, I put it in this bottle thinking this would be a great place for, great way to serve it. But the hole on the end of this thing is so small that it barely comes out. So it's a problem. But the mango syrup should be thin enough to work with that hole. You've never heard that way of making ketchup before. That'd be banana sauce. Well, I happen to have a bottle of banana sauce, but the way this stuff is used and the way it's made is ketchup. And before they put tomatoes in ketchup, mushroom ketchup was the standard. And before mushroom ketchup was the standard, fish ketchup was the standard. Ketchup has a long history of changing. And it changes spellings all the time, too. I'm going to put the syrup in this squeeze bottle, though. We don't have much of it, do we? And as for syrup, this is literally just packaged mango juice that I have added a little bit of chili to and boiled down until it thickened. Very simple. The fact that there's already added sugar in the packaged stuff, I think, is why this turned into a very easy, very simple thing. But this stuff should be plenty runny enough to come out that little hole. Yeah, perfect. Our oil is hot again. So, let's keep frying batter, because I got all this batter to use. Oops. Let's drop some batter in weird places. I think it's a little bit harder to handle when it's runny. I got some right there on my flipping sticks. This runnier stuff definitely wants to be flipped sooner than the thicker stuff, because it seems like it wants to form a little balloon. Oh, golly. I don't think we're going to make another batch of batter. I think we're going to fry off what I've got remaining here. We're going to taste the hot dogs. What are we looking at? 1:48. I got a little bit of a late start. I do have an obligation tonight at 7, which is 20 minutes from now. So I can make that, but it means I'm not going to be extending us into another grand adventure at this point. So, if you want to stick around for tasting the hot dogs, please do. And I always appreciate people hanging around. But that's the plan for the remainder of the show today. We also want to crack open one of these ones with the lighter batter and see what they're like on the inside. I think they're going to be much more donutty. I think that extra liquid has really made them foam up because they really want to float. They super duper want to float. What's everyone else having for dinner? Or had for dinner? Adventures in cooking. Oh, the fry oil is getting to my eyes a little bit in here as well. You can only fry for so long, and it kind of vaporizes some of the oil into the air. I should have a vent hood for this. Burger and chips. A small steak. You spit off the smoke alarm. I mean, that probably means it's a good steak, right? That's the measure of a good steak is when it chars off the smoke alarm. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. These guys look golden brown, possibly a little bit past golden brown. So we're going to haul them out, put the remaining batter in, fry it off, and then I think another reason I don't do deep frying very often is deep fried food always has this same kind of deep fried brown look to it, and part of the shtick here is making picturesque food, which deep fried is not particularly doing, like, ever. Okay, we're going to finish out whoa. Finish that out. Break it up, you guys. Don't sit on top of each other. What the heck? Why do they always want to clump into each other? Fried things always want to do that. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, that last one is going to be weird. Cybertrez! Welcome, welcome. It is, in fact, jovial with some thing. The regular fritters here are pretty tasty, so I'm not sad about those. We have not tasted the hot dogs yet. We're gonna do that once this batch is done frying, because I'll turn the heat off and we can deal. But the regular ones are quite nice. Quite nice looking indeed. Although I also need to taste test now this second style with the thinner batter. I don't know if these are super traditional fritters. The recipe I'm following describes them more like describes and pictures them more like small pancakes, but then they also fry them in way less oil than I have, so that they spread out. They use a 1/4 cup of oil. I used half a gallon of oil so that mine would float because I wanted to try the hot dogs. The hot dogs are what made everything weird today. The batter is very thick. The batter's not like pancake batter. Getting it to spread out almost seems like it would be difficult. Honestly. But they're very tasty. I am going to be sharing them. As I said, I have an obligation at 7, so we actually have a deadline today. And I'll be bringing the extras from this to that, so I don't have to deal with them. Not that dealing with them would be hard. They're very tasty. But fried things are always better when they're fresher. And this is quite a lot that I would not necessarily be able to get through before they got cold and soggy. Okay, heat off. But welcome, Cybertrans. Hi. Oh, I almost forgot. I always forget. I always forget. But not this time. Mashed potato fritter with meat in the center. Now, I've done stuffed ones before. I've done mashed potato around the outside of a cheese ball. I did a rice thing, didn't I? The concept of a ball of starch fried is not uncommon. This recipe purports to be Jamaican. I can neither confirm nor deny its Jamaicanness. Well, papa means potato, so you're halfway there. If they're made of potatoes, that makes sense. I am going to transfer our lime sour cream into a little dish. With yet another spatula. Because we have so little to work with for plating today. Oh, a whole evening stream. Golly, I have nothing planned for spooky month at all yet. So go check out Cybertrans because there's spooks. Spooks. Paparena. Bookwoman is our resident research expert. Okay, that is just lime, a little bit of lemon, sour cream. Meat and olives. That sounds Italian with the olives. Or at least Mediterranean. Put stuff away, put stuff away. Okay. I want to get a picture. Oh, it's all brown. Everything's brown. What do we plate for brown? Tell you what. We're going to grab our hot dogs and our knife. Now this is the thick batter, and this one is the lighter batter, and I can feel a difference to them. Ooh, it ended up being a very thin layer on the outside of the dog. Perhaps disappointingly thin. That one's actually a little bit thicker. Well, I don't Tangia. I don't have Tangia. Tangia, I know Tangia is like a big money maker these days, but Tangia bugs me. I'm sorry. Call me a Luddite if you must. But Tangia kind of bugs me. Especially that stupid Yoda. I hate the Yoda one. Okay. Lime sour cream. Line up our hot dog ones there. And then we're going to heap the remainder on the back. In a heap. A delicious heap. Boy, it looks... Here. Now we can do light, because you're looking at something dark instead of something white. God. That's going to be the most frustrating thing, is now I got to figure out what happened with the camera and how to fix it. Okay. They're a little oily. They're not super oily, but they're a little oily. Let's go grab a picture. The Yelps, I suppose, if you're not expecting it and you have this volume turned up and it just kind of jumps out at you. I've seen some of those. There's a Freddy one that shows up. There's one that's just Moist Critical yelling. We're going to grab our glamour shot over here. Not the most glamorous glamour shot I've ever done, for sure. Let me put my mango syrup in the shot. And then we'll come back, we'll do a taste, and we'll wrap it up. And I do have to run today, so we're doing a raid and run for a change. Okay. Okay. Tasting time. The taste. First things first. I want to take one of these fluffier ones and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Way more airy on the inside. Big openings. Much less like bounce back squishy. It's still pretty dense, honestly, in terms of the eating. It looks more fluffy and airy, but the bubbles are all quite large. So it's not like an open foam like you would get in a pancake or a cake. It is definitely lighter, definitely noticeably lighter. Let's try it with our mango syrup. Sweet, sharp, a little heat that comes in on the back because of that chili I put in there. That's good. You only need a dab of that. TK, you're not first. Congratulations. Congratulations on being not first. Well, we got to try the corn dog. See if it worked at all. See if it worked at all. Hot dog. Kind of a chewy dough around the outside. The hot dog's warmed through, but not like cooked extra hard. I mean, it worked. Let's try it with this stuff. Oh, it's way better with that. Wow. There's not enough batter on the hot dog to affect the flavor very much. Oh, okay. I take that back. The second bite had more batter, which means that there are thin spots on the hot dog where the batter is not enough to really affect the flavor very much, which means you're not getting much banana, but you are getting a chew. I'm sorry, I'm pacing back and forth a little bit. You're getting like a chew from the batter when you bite into the hot dog. But this lime sour cream, which is it's lemon lime sour cream. It's very limey, but it's also like sharp and creamy. It's got a lovely bright citrus flavor to it. It really offsets the sort of general greasy flavor here. That stuff, yes, beautiful. I mean, I knew it was going to be tasty, but it goes really well with fried stuff. Fried foods. Serve fried foods with citrus. It makes them so much better. Anything sour, but citrus especially, because it's got a brightness to it in addition to the sourness. This isn't even terribly sour. It only has a dash of lemon in it. Most of the flavor is coming from the lime zest. Let's try it with just one of these guys, and I just think it's going to be a winner. Well, it's less dramatic. It's less dramatic with just the plain fritters. It's definitely there to pair with the hot dogs first and foremost, which is what I made it for, so that makes sense. Okay. The fritters are nice. The later ones are much softer. Than the earlier ones. The earlier ones, quite a bit denser on the inside. The later ones, noticeably softer. Much more donutty. They still have a denseness to them like a donut. Or like, I guess like a flat pancake. They have a density similar to like a flat pancake. Where you didn't put enough leavening in your pancake. Which again makes sense. There's no leavening in these. All told, I think it was a success. I think it did what I wanted it to do, in that it converted some of my so many bananas into something that's not just plain bananas. I might end up breaking down and making some banana bread just because there's so many bananas. Um, I don't. You'd have to work with the formulation on it to make it work for the battering stuff. I guess what I need to do is make a batter for corn dogs or fish or something, that consistency of batter, and then work out how to swap in bananas to make it banana based. And it might be as simple as you put it in place of the egg. You just follow an existing batter recipe, put it in there with the egg, but you have to thin it out. That's the thing. Egg has a lot more water in it. So it makes for a much looser batter. Oh, anyways, let's bring us back over here, because I need to wrap up because my obligation at 7 is now a minute late. Thank you so much for showing up today. Glad to see you. Good to hear, etc. Things. Thanks to 3 people for follows, 3 new followers. Thanks to Bookwoman for the resub. Glad to see you. I don't have any specific plans for the month except for Canadian Thanksgiving Day. We're going to do something Thanksgiving themed for Canadian Thanksgiving Day. And looking over at my calendar, Halloween itself is on a Thursday. I could do a Halloween Thursday stream. There's a spooky game I've been meaning to play. I might try to sprinkle that in. I always talk about games, but actually try to sprinkle that one in. Crispy. Otherwise, yes, I have not gotten paint for the big dinosaur head yet, so that's still in the works. That oil's going to have to cool off before I can do anything with it, so the cleanup is delayed regardless. So yeah, let me raid us off. I am going to have to raid and run today. Let's see who's on. Oh, tell you what. We're going to do them a solid, and we're going to go drop you guys off with Dinner with Mom, who was just here in chat just a little bit ago. Spread the love. I don't know what they're making today. They didn't put it in their title, so we'll have to ask when we get there. But, yeah. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. And yeah. I guess that's that. Got to think of something less messy next time and more colorful. We got a lot of brown today. I'm not going to wait for the countdown today. We're just going to send you guys off and see what Mom and Ray are doing. So, the raid now.